All right, here we go with the rehearsal tapes. We're gonna see where this goes. So I'm gonna try to cover the big topic before I cover the last topic. This pod we're catering to a lot of different people here. So I've realized that not everybody wants to hear about sports. Not everybody wants to hear about politics. Not everybody wants to hear about whatever I'm going to talk about. The negative of doing this generalistic pod is that it doesn't cater to everybody. I'm trying to cater to a lot of people here. So, got a lot of topics to cover. If you want to skip through this, skip through it. Pick the topics you want to listen to. Skip through the topics you don't want to listen to. So for now, real quick, I'm going to cover my COVID thoughts. And then I'll get to sports. So if you want to listen to my COVID thoughts, you want to listen to the main topic of this, here you are. If you want to wait and listen to the sports, you can fast forward through. So COVID. The whole fam has been down with this. Knocked us down like a mofo. It's been a rough couple of weeks for the Beckley family here at 1614 Ida Wood. That being said, I've had my thoughts about COVID this entire time. I've said I think it's a bunch of BS. I think all the rules and regulations and masking and all this stuff, I think it's crazy. And as soon as I get COVID, down for the count. Your boy is down for the count. Wipe the whole family out. Rough couple of weeks for the Beckleys. Everybody's like, oh, well now of course you're going to be pro-mask. You're going to think that this is all necessary. No. I stand by everything I've said the entire time. It sucked. COVID sucked. It still ain't that big of a deal. It is not worth, like Portnoy said, it's not worth the absolute extreme outrage that we've had over this. I'm still anti-mask. And I don't care. A lot of these people watching this pod, well, that's a controversial thought. All y'all know me. Is this the first time I've ever had a controversial thought or cared to share it? I don't care. And honestly, I would rather more people watch this that disagree with me than people watch this that agree with me. Because I can preach all day to the choir. I want more people to watch this that disagree with me and be like, okay, he's making a good point. The survivability rate of this is through the roof. We're freaking out about it. I've now had it. The whole fam's had it. Hey, guess what? Here I am filming a pod. We're all here. And to me, granted, is it real? Yes. Are there people that we need to quarantine from? 100%. My family's followed all the quarantine guidelines. My grandfather, Grandpa Brian, this dude's living on 20 years of borrowed time at this point. Yeah, we quarantined from him. Honestly, he'd probably be the one to beat it. He'd probably get it, beat it in 2 days. But he has every pre-existing condition known to man, so we're careful. We keep away from him, we socially distance, we do all that. But guess what? We all socially distance and still caught it. So here we are. And this is how I feel about it. I mean, the tests are ridiculously inaccurate. That's where we're at. It's just the truth. Tests are ridiculously inaccurate. And this is what's going to happen at this point. The government is just stealing our freedoms. Like I said, Portnoy said it. The government is telling you how to live your life. They are testing how much control they can have over you. The government is figuring out when they say jump, you say how high. That's what's happening right now. They are literally saying, ho, 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 we can control these bad boys. And they won't care. The funniest part is that the people who swear that government's the worst thing are then the ones that as soon as the government says do this, they say, okay, yeah, we'll do that. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. They are stealing human liberties. At the end of the day, let people make their own decision. They want to go out to a restaurant, that's up to them. If you're scared of COVID, stay home. If you're not, go out. You're robbing Americans of their civil liberties. And eventually it's going to come to a civil war. And guess who's going to win that? The side that has guns. Let us do our things. I've survived. The fam has survived. Things are good. So I will leave that on that note. Do what you want to do. Everybody thought that I was going to be all upset and be super pro-mask after I caught COVID. You're wrong. I will say this. COVID sucks. Wipe the fam out. It was a rough couple of weeks. Your boy had the nausea, the fatigue, the lack of will to live, all that. Did catch up on a lot of Netflix. Big Denzel Washington fan. Finally watched Technical Pelham 1, 2, 3. Probably Denzel's worst movie, and the only reason that's his worst movie is because John Travolta's just not a very good actor. Y'all can argue with me all day long. John Travolta, not a great actor. One of Denzel's worst movies. So, moving on from that. As we go through this pod, like I said, there are a lot of topics I've got to touch on. One thing I'm thinking about is doing like a once weekly pod, but every couple of days doing an Instagram TV video so that every couple of days I can catch up on what happened the last day in the news, what happened in politics, whatever, sports. Cover that, just a quick 9-minute video so everybody can go, okay, well, at least Jake's keeping up with this, and get my thoughts on the day-to-day basis. And then once a week, releasing a big pod about a certain topic. So that not every week I'm not trying to cover everything in one pod. I can cover one topic, call it a day, and then, every couple of days, release an IGTV video and cover the quick topics. So, for those that are still here with me now, I am going to run through some quick sports topics. Things didn't work out for the boys this past weekend. Titans lost. Not happy about it. Is what it is. We'll move on. We're 8-4. We'll be all right. Scott Satterfield in Louisville. What on earth is he thinking? What is he thinking? You have been here for a year and a half at Louisville. You had a good year, first year. You won ACC Coach of the Year. You're now 3 and whatever. You had an abysmal second year, and you're going to go talk to South Carolina behind our backs. Louisville's been here before. We know what this is like. We know how this goes. Very, very bad look. Players bounced on him, then came back because he did not get hired by South Carolina. He sent out some BS letter to the fans, to the season ticket holders, bunch of crap. As far as I'm concerned, he's done at Louisville. We won't win again. So that sucks. Learn from what happened in the past. Did you not learn from John L. Smith, Bobby Petrino, round 1, Charlie Strong, Bobby Petrino, round 2? This is how this goes. There is no up from us. There is no up from Louisville. You leave us, every single coach that has left us, your career has tanked. John L., Steve Cragthorpe, Petrino twice. It goes down from here. This is not the route you want to go. You lose Louisville, you lose everybody. Titans lose, it's all right, we'll bounce back. Derrick Henry, still the GOAT. A.J. Brown, still the GOAT. Taylor Lewan's still out with the torn ACL. The boy will be back. Will Compton will be back as well. Real quick note, Bellarmine at Duke. Bellarmine, a former D2 national champion. Also, the current University of the Little Sis, Hannah Beckley. Shout out. The Bellarmine Knights, former D2 champions, now have moved up to D1, playing at the one and only Freedom Hall, legendary arena. They went to Duke in their first D1 game, showed up to Cameron Indoor, and actually made a hell of a showing. Showed up to Cameron Indoor and showed out. Didn't get the win, but an impressive and respectful showing at Cameron Indoor against Duke, and then a couple days later got their first D1 win. On the other hand, Kentucky loses to Richmond, and then the next week loses to Georgia Tech. Josh Pastner's Yellow Jackets. I'm not going to talk any type of mess because at the end of the day, they'll still probably beat Louisville here later this month because they always do. Realize how bad they are. But the University of Kentucky, Calipari's boys, lost to Richmond and then lost to Georgia Tech. The fun part about that is losing to Georgia Tech at Josh Pastner's Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Josh Pastner replaced old boy Calipari. He's a former Memphis coach. Calipari's boys in Memphis. Josh Pastner was a Memphis boy. And then Kentucky lost in Atlanta to Josh Pastner's Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. My uncle's a Georgia Tech grad. Fam grew up Tech fans, and I can tell you that is absolutely embarrassing. No, Louisville's women dominated Seton Hall. Louisville's women are going to be that team. Haley Van Lith, she wears number 10. Number 10 always wins. Nate Beckley can attest. When you're number 10, you just win. Haley Van Lith, freshman from, I think, Seattle, dominating. Louisville's women are on top. And last but not least, Indiana University football. I thought that only the tailgates were where it was at. I mean, I threw some legendary tailgates at IU back in the day. Shout out to 212 South Clark, Colin Blair, the boys at 212 South Clark. We threw down. But now Indiana is a powerhouse Division I, Power 5 football squad. Out here running teams. I mean, they belong in the Big Ten championship. Big Ten is changing the rules, which is kind of ridiculous. They're changing it for Ohio State. Kind of nuts. Not sure how I feel about it, but I mean, Hoosiers all the way. Tom Allen rolling in on the legacy of the one and only Kevin Wilson. But yeah, that's what's up. So I'm going to wrap this up here real quick. Social media, this will get better. This will be officially filmed. I will have this on an actual podcast. Things will get better. And then free shout outs. Shout outs to the boy Chris Broadus. Big O Tires on Highway 60 in Sellersburg. Tell him I sent you. Also, free shout out to the boy Nick Cutter and Brandeis Machinery. Probably none of y'all will use it, but that is what it is. But Big O Tires, Highway 60 in Sellersburg, Indiana. Tell them that Jake sent you. You probably won't get any deals, but he will take care of you. Chris Bryce is the man. He's one of the boys. He's always for the boys. He's for this podcast. So, that being said, we will see y'all soon.